so happy Valentine's Day, everyone. And we're sorry about the evils. So hope everyone's recovering by now. And we'll go ahead and start here on our backs. Laying them down here, tail supported, head supported as well. And then if you want to have the ball between your thighs to help you stabilize, that could be helpful. If you also find it a little unsteady, the feet wider, would be more stabilizing here for the body on the roller. Narrower legs, even though they're better for alignment, are less stable, so that you end up working harder to your core. And let's begin here with some balance work. So just let your shoulder blades drop down around the curve of the roller underneath you. You want to look up and slightly forward with your eyes onto the ceiling. And then stretch the arms forward, walking the fingers down towards the front edge of your mat. Spread your feet into the ground here. And then we're going to begin, actually, if you had the ball between your legs, take it out because we're going to do some knee holds. So we're lifting the right leg up at the inhale, hinging at the hip and keeping the waist long. And then exhale, lowering the leg down, try to put the foot right back into the same spot on the ground where you lifted it from. And then you can press into your left hand a little bit as you pick the left knee up. Think of keeping weight in that glute. And then exhale to lower the leg down. Spread the foot into the ground. And now as you're doing this, alternating legs, we're first lifting the right leg up. And exhale to lower. This is easier if you have your elbows grounded, the forearm and the palm and the fingers. If it's too easy for you to do that, pick up the elbows, maybe pick up the palms and just go to your fingertips. So you can do any of those variations that work for you. And then we lower the foot. Now when the knee rises, think of the hip getting heavier so that the weight is evenly spread across the front of the pelvis on top of the roller. And then exhale, lower that down. And then the left again. Exhale, lower here. Now let's lift the right knee and the left arm. The knee and the fingertips reach for the sky. Exhale, lower that foot down, lower the head down at the same time. And then you stabilize to the right leg. And then pick up the left knee and the right arm. Just to 90 degrees. Exhale to lower. And then we're lifting right knee, left arm again. Exhale to lower down. You want to imagine a wall between your legs, like a glass wall or a wall with a mirror on either side of it. And then the legs slide up and down the wall. And when the foot is grounded, you're still hugging that imaginary wall with the inside of the leg, the inside of the foot. Here we go again. Right knee lift arm up. Exhale to lower. One more here on the opposite diagonal. Left knee, right arm. And bring it on down. Now we're going to go again. Right knee, left arm to lift to 90 degrees. Extend the leg up to the ceiling. Bring the arm back by your ear. Then we bend the knee. 90-degree angle at the knee. Arm lifts to the sky. And exhale, lower everything down. Now here, left knee, right arm rise. Extend the leg up, the arm goes back by your ear. Lift the arm to the ceiling, bend the knee, and then exhale, the hands and the foot go down. The head has to move faster than the foot does, right? It's got more distance to cover. Let's do that one more time. So right knee, left arm up, so the thigh and the arm are parallel. Extend the leg and bring the arm back parallel to the floor. Bend the knee here, lifting the arm straight up to the ceiling. Exhale, lower everything down. Last one with that on the left. Point the left knee up, the right arm up. Extend the leg, reach the arm back parallel to the ground. Lift the arm as you bend the knee. And exhale, lower everything down. Perfect. Now go to high heels. Keep your heels up off the ground, your balance on your toes and the balls of your feet. And then we're picking the right knee up. As we lower that leg, you're picking the left leg up, they're passing in midair. Just tap the toe down and then switch the legs. And again, the more you have the arms connected to the floor, the more stable you are. The less connection to the ground, the more you're going to feel it in your core, the more you're going to be challenged with your balance skills. You want to still think about the shoulder blades draped around the roller, maybe even the glutes sticking around the curve of the roller a little bit as you do this. And maybe once you feel, as you're settling into this, challenge yourself to have less connection to the ground through your arms and through your hands. You should be feeling the core woke up with this. Equally important though is a chance to practice balance skills. All right, and then one more. We'll bring the left leg down, the right leg is up, and then bring the right foot down, both heels down. Just open the arms out to the side, rock a little side to side. Give yourself that massage here, a side relief probably. And then let's come back to center. If you want to put the ball back between your thighs, now's a good time. And now we're lifting the arms up to hold the air above your chest. Weight for your hands would be an option. And then exhale, pull the arms open, slowly out and down. Stretch open your chest. And then lift. Arms rise. Exhale, the arms sweep out and down. Pushing out through the air until they rest on the floor. Inhale to lift again. And exhale to expand the pecs as the arms sink gradually. You want to move a little slower than maybe you would like to. So when you lift the arms, there's no rush. You want to feel the weight of your arms being lifted and then the weight of your arms being lowered. So try not to use momentum on the lift. And then don't just follow to gravity and move back down. So move this deliberate. Deep inhale all the way up. Pause at the top of that breath, and then exhale all the way down. Take your time. Now here we're lifting both arms up to the ceiling, parallel arms to lift your chest. And then inhale to lift the hips high, and exhale to shrug the shoulders down. So let's knit and hug the roller beneath you. Inhale, they rise. You feel the chest narrow, which is okay, because now we're going to widen it as the blades sink to the floor. You lift again, reaching up as high as you can, from the shoulders off the roller, and some melt them down around the curves. Do it again, let's lift. And then exhale to release and sink. One more time here. Exhale and down. Now turn the palms forward and lengthen the arms at your side. We're going to begin for windmill, taking the right arm up to the ceiling and then back by your ear. And then we inhale to switch the arms, they pass when the arms are vertical, pointed to the ceiling, and inhale for one direction, exhale for the other. Try to hold the ribcage grounded, which means that the hand might not touch the floor on the way back. Still be tight. We're still warming the body up here for whatever kind of a day you've had. Especially lucky it's a gorgeous day out there. So breathing through this, inhale for one, sweep of the arm, exhale for the next. Now lift both arms up to the ceiling, and then exhale, bring the arms down to your side. And we'll bring your hands to your shoulders, pull the elbows in by your waist to circle up. Exhale out, around, down, and down. So here, moving the arms in a circle through the elbow points at your side, the arms mirroring each other throughout the full movement. Out, around, down, in, one more like this. You're mobilizing the shoulder blades underneath you on top of the roller, and then reverse. Down, wide, up and around, back along your rib cage. You can shrug the shoulders here. Get a little bit more release and stretch in your neck and also in your upper back. The feet are still grounded. Maybe think of them sinking deep into sand here, or quicksand. It comes up to your knees and then further. And just let that help you stabilize. Also picture your feet spreading here with roots deep into the ground. Could be helpful for you too. We'll do one more circle like this. Short inhale, longer exhale to complete the circle. And then extend the arms forward. palms down as you reach long for your feet. Let's lift the arms up and all the way back by your ears, and exhale, circle wide around forward and in. Turn the palms down at the end of the movement, and then lift up, stretch back, you yawn your body open, circle the arms through the air, tracing that wingspan, and then the palms are down. Do it again. Reach up, and hopefully the arms are parallel all the way up and back. And sometimes that's not true, right? If like one shoulder is tighter than the other. That could be due to repetitive patterns. It could be due to a former injury. There could be a difference. Let's do one more like this. So if that's the case, maybe do more reps on the side that has more limited range of motion. And then let's reverse it, palms up, circle it back. Reach behind you, exhale, dive forward. Or just limit the arm that has more mobility to the same height, the same range of motion as the more restricted arm and shoulder has, until they get caught up. Because we're looking for balance in the body here and not just movement, but the movement to help you with your alignment, to keep your body in better total function overall. Palm up to circle out, reach behind you, exhale, push the air down. And then here with the arms at the side, if you have the elbows grounded too, inhale to pick up the right knee, exhale to pick up the left one. And then we're going into a frog, heels together, toes apart, knees apart. And then you press the legs up and out on a long diagonal. Exhale to frog back in. You keep the heels connected, soft gaze on the ceiling. Inhale to reach up and away. And exhale to pull it back. If your hamstrings are really tight, you might not get to fully straight legs. Because if you did, the legs would be so low, you feel your back arch, and we want to keep that pelvic girdle balanced here, hip bone pressed, even with the pubic bones. You don't want to feel your back increase the arch of the spine and that lumbar spine while the legs extend, but you do want to feel a challenge, some extra work in the abs as the legs reach up, out, and away on a slight diagonal. You choose the angle. Just be sure your back stays safe. We'll do one more, the back of the thighs pulled together. And then you pull back into the frog. Now give the parallel legs, softly point the feet, almost as if you had a baseball curled under each arch and you try to suck the baseball into the foot. Now we stretch the legs up and out, reach here, and exhale, pull the knees in over your chest. And press again. Holding at the knees, holding at the hips, pull the knees towards your face. And then stretch out again, find your working level. You would feel challenged in your core, but not overwhelmed. Press out again. You still have a long line across the top of the foot and ankle here. And reach again to lengthen. Toes are soft, even though they're pointed, they're not over pointed. You're not gripping. And one more like this. Press out long. Exhale, pull it back in. Let's exhale to lower the feet down, just give yourself a little break. Open the arms again and do a little rock from side to side. Massage out the space between your shoulder blades, the back of your skull, the area by your sacrum. And then we're coming back to center and the arms lengthen parallel to the roller here at your side again. Put the left knee in first this time and then exhale the right. Flex the feet at the ankles and then lift the heels up to the ceiling. And then we can fold the knees in over the chest and then push the heels out, reach them across the room and on a diagonal and then pull them back in. Again, you choose the diagonal. You also choose how much of your arm, of your hand is supporting you here at your side. Get easier with more connection, that makes sense, right? So if the elbows are down, the palms are straight, that's not the easiest. If you're just on the palms, that's more difficult. If you're just on the fingers, that's the most treacherous, but maybe the most fun. And then press out through your heels, curling the toes in and down to your shins. We'll do that one more time. Hopefully everyone's feeling some work in their core. Pull the shoulder blades and melt around the curve of the roller to help hold you in place. We'll do one more like that. Keep reaching back the toes, get a little calf stretch, and then come in. And now last one in the series, we take the legs up to the ceiling. Bend the knees if you need to keep the feet over the pelvic floor. And then inhale to point the feet, exhale to flex. And then here, try to work through the feet. Reach up to the ball of the foot, then curl the toes into a point, curl the toes back, and then lift the heels. And do that again. So heel ball toe, and then big toe ball heel. So you sort of unfurl the foot and reach up into the air with the tips of your toes, and then curl the toes back. Gradually work through all the joints that you can here in your feet and your ankle. Do that again. And notice that it's, there's still movement here on the roller. Like our balance is not static, it's always dynamic. We're always like coming a little away from center and then hopefully pulling yourselves back into center here. And of course, the roller amplifies any discrepancy you have away from your center line. So that's why it's a good exercise. One of the reasons. Now, soft point with the foot, bend the knees. Exhale, lower the feet to the ground. Settle them in. And let's slide on off your roller. How was that? So we got to practice your balance, you got to warm up your core a little bit, and also at the same time, you're opening your chest the whole time you're on the roller. So it's sort of multifunctional exercise. So hi everyone who joined since I got down here. Good to see you. And we're now going to take the roller behind our backs, across the tip of the blade, to do a little flexion extension of your spine. So rolling back. And support your head with your hands. Feet are grounded, knees bent, tailbone is heavy. So curling forward, pull the elbows down and in towards your navel, down your nose, back your abs, and then bring your gaze up the wall to the ceiling and behind you to lay your head back, open the chest into extension, the elbows fall open down to the floor, lifting the head with the movement of your hands, chin to chest, pull your head up, forward, and curve your back. The waist sinks down, the tail rises as you flex the upper back. Elbows pull in. And then as you go back, lead with your gaze across the room, across the ceiling, behind you. Open the chest by letting the elbows fall. Spread the chest wide open as you open the elbows, as you open the arms. So you open your wings. And then you're lifting your head. You use the muscles in the front line of your body from jaw to tail, but you also use the arms to assist you in moving the weight of your head safely. And then take it back again as you go back into extension with the upper back and the neck, the circle of the spine. You're also going into extension by dropping the tail. So the pelvis also is moving into this arc. And then as we come up, roll the tail up. So you're lifting both ends of the spine towards each other across the front of your abdominal wall. And now maybe bring the feet in a little bit more. You'll have to decide. Still supporting your head with the heel of your hands. Lift your hips up. And now we're going back and forth. We got to have a hoodie. So if you have a hood or a ponytail, you want to gather that up. And then roll to the top of the shoulders and roll towards the base of the ribcage. And then to increase the massage that you're giving yourself, when the hips go forward, you lift the hips up in the air, you drop your head, you're in extension, and then you pull your head up, you sink your waist down as you push away from your feet. So knees go forward, hips lift, head drops behind you, look at the wall behind you if you can. And then chin to chest as you push off the feet, curl into flexion. We'll do that one more time. And then coming on up, let's lower the hips and come up to sitting. Just do a little bit of this opening neck, taking the floor across the mat. Then you lay down onto your back. Bridge up, pick up your hips, and roll the roller under you, right across the width of your sacrum here, so that the widest part of your hips. So from here, let's pull the left foot in, exhale down the right, and foot to your knee sways. So with the legs zippered together, let's bring the knees over to the right and turn your head to the left, holding the left shoulder blade grounded. Exhale, come back to center, knees and nose. And then the knees to the left as you turn your hip to the right. Press the right shoulder blade into the floor to feel a bigger twist through your waistline. Come back to center here. And then knees right and left. We're also looking for that massage across the glutes, across the SI joints. Exhale back to center now. And then one more time, we slide left to the right. Exhale and bring it on back. And let's lift both legs up to the ceiling for a little scissors, right leg backwards, foot forward. Inhale, switch the legs, draw two arcs in the air in the opposite direction. And then sweep one leg back, one leg forward. Try to feel that opening in the hip and the stretch in the hamstring. And we breathe through this and inhale for one switch and an exhale for the second. So let your breath help you initiate the movement and carry it through. Self-pointing your feet, not over-pointing, but not flex either. We'll do one more set here. Focus on both the stretch across the hip and the stretch in the hamstring, and last one. And then let's pull both legs up, bend your knees in, and now into bicycle. The right leg goes up and then forward, bring it to the floor if possible. And then you slide that foot in as the left leg is going out. So just like riding a bike, the leg stretches long for the pedal. Only of course here, we're dragging the foot across the ground if you can, so you get the maximum opening across your hip and deep in your body at your psoas muscle. Also maybe think of unfolding the leg and lifting the foot behind your shoulder, over your head and back. So you also get that hamstring lengthening with the leg moving backwards in space. And then let's reverse it. Backpedaling here. Try to find the same range of motion, even though it's less familiar to us. So if you can, touch the toe down as close to the roller as possible and then skate it forward across the mat before you lift that straight leg up. You're literally scooping the air with the top of your foot and the shin to throw it back over your shoulder. All right, and then from here, both legs up. Good, and then fold the knees in, lower them down, and we lift the hips up off the roller and take it out to the side. Perfect. Stay here on your back for a second to see if you feel a little more open in the chest, a little more relaxed in your spine. And then we can pull the right knee into your chest, lift the left foot up to the ceiling, tip the head forward, chin to chest, and roll up to sitting. You're good? Perfect. We're rolling back now into our hundreds. So we bring the arms forward or take them to the back of your thigh. Roll yourself down. The heels are grounded here right now. Come to your best upright curl. Fold one knee and then the other. Extend the legs up and we pump the arms. Inhaling, 5 beats. Exhale, 5 more. So the collarbones are literally rotating and rolling inside your chest. And the legs are stretching out long here. As you start to warm up, you can start to lower the legs a little further away from you. If that isn't working for you, bring them back. If you need to, you can pull them all the way in towards your chest. But you're trying to work to stay high with that upper arm curl. Keep lifting the top of the head and looking down your nose at your abdominal wall. You breathe in completely, letting the whole body expand, and then exhale completely, letting it knit together. So as you look at your abs, try to find them lift and widen, and then when you exhale, hold down and deep, navel to spine. That's where that saying came from. So breathe in completely, exhale completely, and one more breath. Pressing the edges of your feet together, the edges of your legs together where they touch, and then you can fold the knees in, lay your head down, and stretch the legs forward. We're doing a roll up here. If you know you want a TheraBand or weights for the hands, also we make it easier. Possibly weights on your ankles. If you find that helpful too, we're going to bring the arms up and back by the ears. Lift the arms up to the ceiling, lift your head, neck, and chest. Exhale, pull yourself forward and off the ground. Dive forward, the shoulders sliding behind you, the head reaching out towards the space between your thumbs. And then curl the tail up through your legs. Start to rotate back with the pelvic girdle. You go over your sacrum, over your hips. Keep lifting the tail as you go down through that inverse curve of your spine to the ribs. And then the arms are up and press back. You hold the rib cage down on the mat without additional arch. We bring the arms up, start to lift the head, neck, and chest. Exhale before you pick up the ribs. Keep the exhale going, going, going as you dive over your legs, suck the waist back, curve the spine. The only exception to that would be if you have like osteoporosis, you would be moving forward and hinge at the hip. And then we're rolling back. If you reach forward, now the arms higher is going to be more challenging. Only go there, however, if you have perfect control down to the ground. You may find that you need to lower the arms in order to get each of the vertebrae down and turn, and then yawn the body open to the ceiling. We're lifting the arms, weight in the shoulder blades, head, neck, and chest. Exhale to come forward, rounding over, stretching. Ideally, legs are together, feet are flexed. They'll give you more stretch as you go forward here. And one more time to the ground. I'm bringing my bare bed with me, so it's going to be closer when I lay down. And then we can circle the arms around and pull the right knee into your chest, embrace it in. Just do a few circles here, storing the leg on the socket. Keeping the pelvis grounded and heavy with balance. Then reverse the circles, other direction. Same smooth motion here, rolling up the joint with the synovial fluid. And then go ahead and grab your TheraBand, replacing it on the sole of the right foot. And then lift the foot up to the ceiling. You can do a little bit of flex. But keep dropping the femur, the thigh bone down deep into the socket. So the pelvis is grounded here. Soft point, stay there. Inhale, we bring the leg across the body. The elbows are down by your waistline. And then exhale, reach low, out to the side, and external rotation, up to the sky in neutral. Initially rotate to cross, go low, go out to the side. Now we are working to have a bigger circle in the air, but not at the expense of the pelvic stability. So you're going to press down with anything on your body that's on the opposite side from the leg's movement. So when the right leg moves left, the right side is heavy, including the right arm, the shoulder blade, the skull. And then when you start to think about bringing the leg out to the right, the left side gets heavy. We'll do one more, focus on the breath, a deep, short inhale, and then a long, sustained exhale. Exhale all the way around, keep exhaling, exhaling until the top of the movement. Take the stretch here in the hamstring, and then reverse. So externally rotate, and the right leg moves to the right. Exhale all the way around, and up to the sky. We've talked about this before. If you're drawing a circle like the face of a clock, you inhale for the first 3 hours. Exhale all the way back up to midnight. And then reach again. Push long with the leg out into the band supports you. It also gives you something to reach into. The ability to have sort of a closed chain makes you more aware and gives you a chance to find more length here. Let's go for one more circle in this direction. Keep reaching, draw a spiral further out into space with every repetition. Come up to the top, and we're taking both ends of the band in your right hand. Left arm extends out of the floor, or you can hold the left hip bone grounded as you take the right leg out to the side in external rotation, and then give it a couple little rocking movements here, nice and slow and smooth. Going to be respectful of those upper inner thigh muscles, which are getting a stretch, no matter how tight or flexible you are. And then exhale, bring the leg up to the ceiling. Switch hands, another left hand holds the strap. Extend the right arm out, look at that hand, and cross the leg over, lifting the hip waist, but keeping the right shoulder blade down. You reach the foot across the room and then spiral that leg internally so the knee and the toes point down. You feel that stretch, increase the diagonal stretch from the glute into the lower back. Exhale, let's unwind the body from the left shoulder to the waist, to the right hip, to the floor. The leg lifts, pull on the strap, give it an extra little stretch at the back line. And then we can fold the knee in, the band comes off, and we'll release that right leg forward. I don't know, it feels like that dropped about an inch compared to the other side. So hopefully you're getting a good reaction to that too. So anyway, now we're gonna start pulling the left knee in. And pull it in tight first. And then you can loosen that up a little bit and then stir the leg, hands on the knee, or it could be on the thigh, right? Whatever sort of works for your body. And you draw circles in the air with the knee, and let's reverse. We're stirring the thigh bone on the socket. It's not about circling the foot from the knee. Almost feel that hip get a little more open with every circle. Now we'll take the band to the foot. Lift the leg up to the ceiling, stretch, do a couple of plank flexes here. Again, if your hamstrings are tight, they need to be slightly bent. And then some point. Elbows go closer to your hips, moving the shoulders away from the ears to elongate the neck. And now we circle, inhale across the body and reach low, exhaling, rotate out to the side, around up to the sky. And again, reach and keep pushing forward. You're pivoting here from your elbow points, keeping the upper arms grounded, but to keep the chest, the thoracic spine, and the ribs grounded and steady here on the mat surface. Keep pushing out into the strap and keep pulling back with the arms to hold your stability through the upper body. Let's just do one more. The leg getting longer with every circle. You're stretching the muscles, you're opening the joints. Now reverse, out to the left, and then exhale, go low, across, keeping the left hip grounded, lift the foot up high and stretch again. Bands give you a feeling of buoyancy and lift as you circle. Try to notice that and compare it to the stability of your torso on the ground and the right leg stretched long along the mat. One more circle, one more big reach out into space. Come around to the top. And now the left hand takes both ends of the band. You open the leg out to the left, actually rotate it. The right hip is grounded. If it isn't, lift the left foot, pull the hip down, and then reach out away from that stability. And we can rock the leg a little towards the shoulder and then away. Gentle, gentle. Exhale to pull the leg up to the sky, switch hands. And then bring the leg across, reach it for the wall. Extend your left arm out. You can turn your head to look over the fingertips. The shoulder blades are both grounded here. And you can picture the ribs floating away from the left scapula. They lift up with the rotation of the spine. All right, and then we come down, right shoulder, across the right ribs to the waist, across the left hip, to lift the leg up to the ceiling, give it a tug, give it a stretch, give it a pull. And then we bend the knee in, the band comes off. Hug it in, and then we do want to release that leg forward next to the other one. Just shake out the legs a little bit, and then feel how relaxed and open the hips feel here, how long the legs are, and how maybe your waistline has dropped a little closer to the ground. Certainly the back of the legs have dropped closer to the floor. All right, good. So now the left leg comes in, and then we can pull the right leg in and lift the right leg up to the ceiling as we rock forward and up, rolling like a ball. Tip your hip forward, chin to chest, exhale, push the legs away, come up. And you can take the ball between your thighs. Edges of the feet together. Beginners would take their hands to the back of their thighs. As you advance, hands go to the shins. Elbows are wide, a little bit lifted. The reason is you want to pull the scapula away from the spine and really pull the ribs back to increase the curvature of your spine. You want to be a ball, not a plank. So you curl the tail up and then we roll back. Inhale, roll to the shoulders. Exhale to come back up to your balance point. And if you don't have enough padding, get some neck, right? So we lift the tail, rolling back. Exhale, forward and up. The gaze stays down because if you roll back and look up at the ceiling, you're flattening your back. And then it's going to be next to impossible to come up. And then try to use the right amount of effort so when you go back, you do not hit your head into the ground. And when you come up, you do not press your feet into the floor. Right? So that takes some practice. You know, how do you modulate the effort? And that's what we admire in really good athletes or any movement people. They make it look so easy, right? And we know how hard that is. So one of the lovely things about this, it makes you really appreciate when you see people move beautifully, and then you're inspired to do so yourself, right? So we're going back into our ab series next. So right hand to the right ankle, left hand below the right knee on the shin, pull that leg into your body, and maybe lift the left leg up and away, and then you're pushing your legs away from you as you slowly roll back, try to come back gradually. That is beautiful. Right? Pull that knee in tight, the other leg stretches long, elbows wide. Inhale to switch the legs, left hand to the ankle. And switch again. Your chin is tucked into your chest. You look down your midline at the navel, at the center of the pubic bone, at the space between the feet. Breathing in for one side, breathing out for the other. The shin lifts up into the hands as the hands firmly press down into the shin. Feel how that firms up the arms, but also firms up your abs. Do one more set. You always rest your head if you need to. Pull your knees in, lay your head down here, and then open the arms. Let's rock the knees a little side to side and turn your head in the opposite direction. Just ease your neck in case you got it turned. And we'll come back to center. Fold the knees in and grab hold of your thighs. Lift your head up, pull yourself up with your arms so you can find that upright curl. And now take your hands to your shins and pull them in tight, lift a little deeper. Now the legs are zipped together like a unileg. You're going to take the legs up, the arms up. The arms are apart, the legs are together. Circle the arms wide as you fold the knees in, embrace them in, pull tight to the shins. And then you reach. And exhale first, and then move. The movement ends at the end of the exhale. Inhale, go out, and as you gradually build strength into this, the arms and legs move lower away from each other without destabilizing your spine. Keep looking down your nose at your abs. Try not to be so entranced by your feet. We do that again. Stretch it open. Exhale, pull it on back. And rest your head down. And then the next one is the scissors, which we did earlier on the roller. So let's roll forward and up again to reset a better upright curl. And here you might even take the arms forward, work yourself down, curve your body down. Excellent control all the way through each vertebra, one after the other. Take your hands to your legs or to a band if you need it. Upright curl, pull both legs in, extend the legs up, reach high on your right leg as you push the left one away. And inhale to switch. And exhale to switch. Again, when you get that closed kinetic chain, when the hands are holding the leg, reestablish the work in the arms and in the core and try to maintain that work even as you release. Feel the sensation and try not to pull back. And use this as a chance to experience the lovely stretch of the back line of your legs. Bend your knees again as necessary, but feel the stretch in the middle of the hamstring. One more set. And then we lift the legs, take your hands behind your head, lift the back of the skull up, elbows pull down and in together. And now here, slowly push the legs out into space and a little bit down. Lengthen, pause, exhale, and we lift them. So here, you're super careful not to take the legs too low. I want you to only feel your abs really hyper engaged and not feel your back arch. So as the legs are going forward across the ceiling, try to press your legs down and pull the tail up a little bit. See if that helps you feel more lower abdominals. And then lift the legs here. You're stretching the back of the neck by pulling the head up and forward. So the arms are active as well. Okay, and fold everything in. Hug it tight. And now we can roll up, kind of like rolling like a ball. So maybe the hands to the back of your thighs, legs together. Lift your head, look at your stomach like you're curious, and then you can rock forward, coming up to sitting. And we can open the legs here. Now for spine stretch, if you're tight in your back line, you want to elevate your hips onto a yoga block or two. There's your chance to sit a little higher off the ground. So if you're just slightly tight, go ahead and soften your knees, right? Bend them a little bit. And your feet are flexed. when you can, right? If they won't do it yet and you're sacrificing the spinal position, then you can point them for a while. So we're going to take the arms forward, press the arms down like you're pushing down on the top of a swimming pool, like right on the edge there, and let your body be buoyant like you're supported by the water. And then look down your nose, tip your chin to your chest, move the head forward to lengthen the neck, pulling the shoulders back. We're just going to go that far. And then pull your neck back, and then stack those 7 vertebrae, and then bring your gaze up to the horizon. Just do that again, because this movement, it matters if you start at the top and work through every vertebra. So look down your nose, lower your chin down and towards your throat, then reach to the back of the skull, out, over, and down in a curve. Keep your shoulders back. Don't move the rest of your spine. You're moving the head and the neck only. Feel how good that stretch feels, right? We hardly ever do this for ourselves. And then pull back with the lowest vertebra in the cervical spine, gradually come up, and then let your head float, gaze on the horizon. That's how you start this exercise. So we look down, chin in towards the chest, and move the head forward. We're going to continue moving through the upper thoracic spine, then the middle and lumbar back, and step your waist back, diving forward, head hangs low. If you actually work through all of the vertebrae in sequence, you'll get more mobility and also more function out of your spine. Press down through your legs, sink the tail, and then lift your back up. If you're stacking against a wall, collarbones wide here, soft gaze across the room. Look down. How far can you move the neck before you start moving the shoulders? Curve the waist up and back. Maybe even curl the tail forward and up. And then dive forward here. Go down low. And then press your legs into the ground, articulate all the way up. The shoulders fall as the collarbones widen as you lift the chest through the arms. And last time here. If you've ever seen a snake's spine, just think about all those different articulations. We have the same thing, right? So we want to move each of those joints. That'll help work all of the muscles. And now from here, sit here, breathe. Just reach forward with your heels, back with your waist. And now let's pull the legs in, come near the front of the mat. Open leg balance. And your heads can go between your legs or to the back of your thighs. Pelvic tuck, look down, extend the right leg up, stretch. Hold it down on the exhale. Get the heels together. These kind of narrow just the width of your shoulders, and we lift the left arm and the left leg, and then exhale, bring it over. One of those ones. And we come up again on the right. Stretch here. Exhale, pull it on back. And now the left. Now we have a chance to do both simultaneously. They lift up. Your hands can slide to the outside of the calves, and then they slide around so the arms are inside the legs as you lower. So keeping your feet off the ground. So you reach. And exhale, pull. The tail is curled forward and up through your legs to the sky. One more like this. And let's hold it here. You can change your hand position a little bit towards your knees, like hold more of the feet at the calf if you need to. And then we look down, we curl the tail up, and we roll the shoulders only. Exhale, and move right back up to your balance point. I know this is hard. So if the legs are too wide, that's going to be sort of awkward. Pull it together, you'll have more control. So with the tail, roll back to your shoulders. Exhale, dive your head forward to the knees, but prevent your legs from falling to the ground. One more. This takes some time to get this to work for most of us. Pull back here. Exhale, forward to lift. Then close the legs, bend your knees. And I think here we're going to skip ahead a little bit and just do some of the side kicks. So let's lay on your side. Prop your head up. If that's bothersome for your neck, you can extend the arm and lay your head on your arm. Okay. So we're pressing the top hand into the mat right in front of your chest and pulling your elbow support arm in slightly to activate the armpit and your side rib cage. Legs forward, feet are flexed, pick the top leg up and height. Inhale, just swing that leg forward and reach out, pulse 1 and 2. Point the foot, take it back and lengthen, reach back 1, 2, pulse. Flex to go forward, double beat here, point to stretch back, really reach and stretch across the room. One more time. You have to hold the bottom leg into the ground. Remember that bottom leg is forward about 30 degrees from your spine. So you have like a kickstand here. Come back to center and lower the leg. Now we lift the leg, rotate it externally, point the foot to lift, flex the foot to close. Heel kisses heel. Point to go up, flex and lengthen down. Stretch it out. One more, point high, flex it down. Now reverse. Flex high, point lengthen out, stretch across the room, draw that arc in the air, flex to lift, point, reach it away. One more to go up, point, lengthen it all the way down. Développé, we bend the knee up to the ceiling, there's a little external rotation. Pull the knee towards your shoulder, extend the leg up, flex the foot and press the straight leg down, heel to heel. So we drag it in, don't let the knee come parallel to the ground. Give it as much rotation as you can externally, press it away. One more. Now also still check that your hips are stacked, because a lot of times we sacrifice the stacking of the hips in order to get the leg higher. So let's reverse. So straight leg, flex foot, lift it, point the foot, bend the knee, skim that leg down the other one, stretch both legs out, and you lift, point and bend, press it out long, further, 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 flex to rise, point, bend, and skate it down your bottom leg. Rond de jambe, really press into anything that's connected to the ground. We bring the top leg forward, rotate externally up, back, around, and back through center. Do your best to hold your body perfectly stable. Really use both arms to help you find your connection to your upper core. You get the hamstring stretch, the leg goes forward. Hip opening as you use your glute and pull the leg behind you. Come back to center and reverse. So the leg goes back, rotate externally, lift, forward, around, and through center, and reach again. Circle up around here. Take it back and spiral here, forward and around. Okay, we're going to stop there and then go onto your stomach for grasshopper. So overlap your hands, rest your forehead on your hands. Let's just do one leg at a time first. So rotate the legs externally. And then we're picking up the right leg as you press the right hip bone into the mat. Exhale to lower the leg down. So the pelvis is pressing down, the leg is lifting here. That way you're going to absolutely get the work in your glute. Exhale to lower. Lift the right again. Think of sinking your hip bone pressed into the ground. And now the left goes up. Exhale and down. Now let's lift the right leg up in parallel this time. Bend the knee, bring the foot to the butt. Extend the leg a little higher and then lower it down. So first let's lift the left leg in parallel. Bend the knee, bring the heel towards the sits bone. Pick up the knee a little higher and then extend the leg. And lower that down. Keep pressing the pubic bone into the floor. And now for the right. You pick up the leg. You bend the knee, heel towards the sits bone. Pull the knee higher, working into some hip extension. Extend the leg, trying to hold that hip extension. And lower it down. One more time for the left. Lift the leg here, hip bone grounded. Bend the knee, heel towards butt. Pick up the knee, stretch the leg up and out, feel the leg in the abs, and then lower it down. That wasn't your traditional grasshopper, so we'll do just a little bit now. So legs in, turn out, lift the legs from the glutes, and then open and close the legs. So we clap the heels together lightly, come apart, come together, etc. And then lengthen, lower, and then push off the ground, come sit back in your child's pose. Launch your back, your head comes down. And then stack your spine gradually bottom to top. Okay, other side. Did anyone else notice, like after doing that that leg lift and bend and extend, that you got more lift in your grasshopper? Yeah, I did too. And I was not expecting it, so that was lovely. So, okay, so, oh, sorry, so we're on our side. I wanted to repeat that feeling, obviously. So here we go. So reach the top leg long, feel the waist lift a little bit off the mat, and we bring the top leg up, flexing both feet. Inhale, swing that leg forward, the leg parallel to the ground, pulse 1, 2, point the foot and push the leg back. Hold yourself together here with your arms, with your spine, with your torso, with your core, and then flex go forward. Reach back to the sits bone, get more stretch in the back of the leg. And now we open the hip, use your glute. Reach back and don't lean forward at all. You guys look good. Flex, come forward one more time. Reach the tail of the up and the sits bone back. And then point, press it back, double beat here. Come back to center, lower the leg. So as you get more open in the hip, there'll be less tendency to rock forward. But if you do rock forward, you're limiting how much you can open the hip. So that's why we really ask for it, that and the control from center. So anyway, rotate the leg externally, point the foot to bring the leg high, flex and reach it out and down. So point to rise, squeeze the legs together, push the air out from between them. Point to lift, flex, and bring heel to kiss heel. Now reverse, flex up, point the foot and reach out and down. Flex to lift, point and lengthen away. Flex to go up, point, reach it out and down. Once more, flex high, point all the way out and down for devil head. So we bend the knee, slide it in, pull the knee to the shoulder, extend the leg up and flex and press heel to heel, squeeze the legs tight. Point, slide, and then extend the leg, flex and press it out and down. One more like that. Point, glide it in, pull the knee towards the shoulder, towards the ear, lift, flex and down. Now reverse, straight leg, flex foot up in the air, point the foot, pull the knee in, toe touches down, you skate it along the bottom leg, end with the flex foot to rise, point bend, exhale, pull the belly in tight as you push the leg away actively. Lift less time, point bend, and then all the way down, good. And rond de jambe, big circles, inhale forward, up, around, back, and through center. Keep reaching out with that top leg, keep pressing down with the bottom leg. You want that stability. Right. And then once you complete the circle, we reverse. Yeah, the bigger movements feel so rewarding, but if you're not controlling it from your core, you're losing at least half of the point of it. And one more time here. All the way around and down. Good. All right, so that's where we ended on the first side. So that's where we'll end on the second side. And then come on up. And let's do a little mermaid seated exercise here. So you can, the easiest version of this is to have, well, it's not easy if your knees are uncomfortable with it, right? So if your knees are uncomfortable with this kind of a windmill or Z-sit position, you could extend like the leg out if that was a problem for your knee, right? Or like this one out if that was a problem for your knee. Eventually, you have the legs more stacked. So it can be anywhere sort of in between those positions. So we're going to start taking your hand to the shin. So we may be reversed or we may be inverted. That's all good. Lift the free arm up and side bend away over your legs, over towards your feet. And then start lifting the head, pull yourself up, hip, waist, ribs, armpit, head, arms go out, and then take your hand to the floor, sliding it out to go down at your elbow, lift your waist, drop your head, and curve the body into a side bend stretch. And then you're starting to come up. So you can press into the ground, you can lift, arms out, and then hand to the shin and dive over. It is hard. And then lift to come up. So try it with your legs extended forward. And then take it over. Yeah, so you might not go all the way out, but you'll still get the stretch. Come up here. And then take it over again. Coming up, we're going over one more time. Right out here, first find your side bend, then lift the arm up to the ceiling, and we circle through, thread the needle, look at your hand coming through the other side, and then bring the hand out towards me, and then out behind you, open the chest, and then curve around and underneath. Follow your hand with your gaze. Push the hand away with your gaze. And one more time here. And end with the extension back. From that point, lift the arm directly to the ceiling. Take one more side bend, the hip falls to the ground to pull the ribs open at the top. And then you're pulling up. And then side bend away. Good. And then come all the way up. And let's switch legs, other side. And often we find that one side is easier than the other. So hopefully this is the easier side for you. It's kind of more fun to discover that. So then we can hold onto the shin and dive over. Now reach down into the hip. Sometimes you feel that that's like really stretching from the base of the rib cage down. If you're tight on that foot of your side line. So pull up, arms extend, hand lowers. You skate the head out along your mat. Rest on your elbow. Drop your head so you get a little cervical side bending. And you pull your waist up. And then pull yourself up. Your hand can slide along the ground to help you. And then over we go again. Upright. Letting it out. False. Try to pull your waistline up. And also don't like collapse or rotate. So really try to find your side seam stretching. Pull yourself up from your side line. Side bend over again. We're coming up to do one more. Over to the side, scoop the air with your head, your neck, your arm. Stay here and then bring the arm up to the ceiling. And then we're scooping it underneath you. And then bring it forward and then out and back behind you. A little rotation in your spine, open the chest. And then go forward and around here. So the diagonal pull through your back all the way down towards your glute. And then open the chest again. One more time. And then open to stretch. Back to center. The arm lifts. Lift your waist, drop your head, side bend again. And then coming up. One more side bend to the left. Back to center. We're good for today. Thank you all for being here. Yes. So I look forward to seeing some of you tomorrow maybe, and everyone hopefully next week.